It's Rebel Radio, AM 1500, FM 92.5, and streaming all over the world at rebelradio.com. I'm Scott Davidson, joined by my good friend, the one, the only, legendary lead vocalist, Jamey Jasta from Hatebreed. And I mean, how many bands are you in now, Jamey?
I've narrowed it down to the SOD tribute, Hatebreed, and Jasta. But who knows? I did speak to Kirk from down in Crowbar this morning, and he said we should do a new Kingdom of Sorrow record. So you never know. I'm trying to get Kirk to come hang out with us Thursday, May 15th for the pre-party, since he's going to be headlining night one the following night with Down. But thanks for having me back on, Scott, and really thank you so much for all the support of not only just the music and metal in general, but of the festival too.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I've had a blast the last 2 years. I go home and I'm like, man, did I miss any bands? You know, I try and see every band I can. And what a fun time. I thank you so much from me and everyone in the metal community for bringing back such a great festival, Milwaukee Metal Fest. And you are the main man bringing it back. That is awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And you know, and I'm psyched to get you guys on. I want your band to play in 2026. You know,
awesome.
It would have been great to have you this year, but man, you know, over 450 submissions.
That's crazy.
It was just so hard to keep up with. And at the end, you know, we were going to keep it to 60 bands, but at the end, we were just like, you know what, we have to be committed to the next wave of talent and to the next generation. Some of the kids, I mean, we have some kids that are 15, 16, 17, even as young as 13. You know, Rebel Ian, Scott's son, is going to be doing that tribute with us. He's only 13. So it's all about the next generation. It's all about the headliners of tomorrow. But definitely want to focus on local and regional talent as well.
Awesome. And, you always do.
And every year we're getting more people to make the drive from Illinois. So I hope we break our Illinois number this year. So shout out to. I mean, we even had people as like Rob Flynn saw Gates to Hell. He was blown away. He took him on the Machine Head tour.
That's cool.
So it's been a really cool way of connecting people, networking. Whether you're in a local band or a signed band, we're urging everybody to come back. And even if you're just a fan, come and experience all the great food trucks, all the great records in the vendor village. And of course, now we got air conditioning and a new PA system. So it's just, this is going to be the best year yet.
Awesome. The band you're talking about is The Suffering. I play drums with Jeff Holmes and John Billman from the band Lungbrush. And Lungbrush played Milwaukee Metal Fest. You're going to laugh at this one, Jamey. I played Milwaukee Metal Fest with the band I played for called Stonehenge. And we played third on a bill, and I think it was a big stage, which was cool. And it was, and the first band on that bill was Hatebreed. I didn't know that until I saw a flyer just recently. About 6 months ago, I saw a flyer. I'm like, wait a minute. Stonehenge was like, we were like at, 110, 120 or something. You were at noon. Hatebreed played at noon. And that was, what was that, 1990? What year was that, you think?
97 or 98, maybe.
No, but you played before that. I mean, it said Hatebreed on there like at noon. I mean, if it's 97, 98, you guys were playing later at noon, right?
Then maybe it was 96. I mean, I'll tell you, as a kid, it was metal mecca, and we're trying to get back to that. And whether you talk to In Flames, Opeth, Enslaved, bands, I mean, even Scott Ian, having played there obviously with Anthrax and SOD before.
Yes.
But everyone, Sacred Reich, Death Angel, Dark Angel, Exodus, Sick of It All. I mean, everybody, it was, if you could go have a kick-ass show at the most infamous festival in the world at that time.
It was Milwaukee Metal Fest.
And you were destined to do big things. And so we've luckily been able to recreate it. Now we just have to keep the flag flying high and get those bands that are the future to come and play at noon or at 1 or whatever. I think this year we're doing 2 p.m. doors just because we're doing 1 p.m. doors for meet and greets and early VIPs, and then 2 p.m. for the general public. But if anybody wants to meet any of the bands or anybody wants to get tickets, go to therave.com/metalfest. And keep the suggestions coming for 2026 because the Suffering's going to be there.
Awesome.
And we have a bunch of announcements that we're going to roll out very soon. That there's going to be new dates, and because we're not going to go against Sonic Temple and
no.
Rock Rockville again.
No.
Welcome to Rockville is a great festival. I've played it with Hatebreed, and I love going down to Florida, but we want to go on a weekend where
that's smart.
Where there isn't another festival that people might travel to. So, but we're going to have announcements very soon. I think people are going to be pleased to see that we're coming back in 2026. We gotta keep our eyes on the prize, and that's getting everybody up there this May 15th through the 18th at the Rave Eagles Club.
I will be there all 4 days. I like that you're promoting the next year ahead of time to let people know, because you got tons of people coming to the fest. They know next year, hey, make plans on this date. Don't book no vacations. Don't book anywhere else. Don't go to, that's awesome to have that a year in advance idea to promote and get ready for the next year.
Thank you. Yeah, we want to, because listen, when you get 450 submissions,
that's crazy.
And it's a lot of young kids, a lot of passionate people. I get it. I was that kid, and luckily I was able to live out my dream, and I was given that shot. It was Finberg and Jack and others, Ken Creedy and others who gave me that shot when I was 17, 18 years old, and I had seen the reviews. I had seen the photo spreads from Frank White and Stephanie Cabral. I had seen the Metal Maniacs and Terrorizer magazine, and I thought, God, what an amazing thing it would be to one day be able to go to Milwaukee Metal Fest. And my old band had gone out to Wisconsin and played a hardcore festival in '93, and I just loved the area and felt a real connection to just that whole vibe and that whole scene. Wisconsin and Illinois in general have always had such a rich metal and hardcore scene. And I get it. When you get passed over, it's super disappointing, and it can be crushing. And so there was years that we were passed over, and I just told the band, like, hey, don't get disheartened. We're going to have you there in 2026.
Yeah.
I promise you. But don't let it get you down. I told this band, I said, listen, from 1996 until 2023, Hatebreed was submitted on every Megadeth tour. I hosted Headbangers Ball. I did 7 tours with Slayer. I opened for Metallica at Giant Stadium. I did all these huge festivals with Metallica and Slayer and Anthrax, toured with Anthrax and Black Label Society, opened for Korn in Australia and in Europe, and Megadeth, for whatever reason, they would never take us. And every year, every time we would get passed up for another band, that I would be so crushed. So I understand it. Megadeth would say, no, we're taking Seven Dust, or we're taking Fear Factory, or we're taking Dream Theater and Tesseract, or we're taking Meshuggah, and it was always deserving bands, and bands that were either bigger than us or maybe bands from a different genre. And so when I finally got Dave on my podcast, I said to Dave, I love all these technical progressive metal bands, but I really feel like a lot of people that come to the Megadeth shows, they like it down and dirty. They like the hardcore thrash. They like the metallic hardcore. I said, let a caveman live. Let some caveman music into there. And he laughed. And it took In Flames canceling the tour for us to get the tour. And this is 25 years into our career. Sold 2 million albums.
Wow.
Did all those tours. Did all those tours that I told you about, and still couldn't get. So it took us 25 years to get that. So it's not always about instant gratification. It's about the marathon. It's not a sprint. And so if any local bands or regional bands are listening, that's part of this. That's part of this festival, is bringing it back and having it be artist influenced and artist, partially, artist owned. It's to try and build something. So just because you might not have gotten on the bill this year,
try next year or 27.
Doesn't mean you're not going to get a look for 2026 or 2027, because this is a different type of show, and we actually do have. We have artists who are also working the show, helping with the meet and greets, helping with the sound, helping with the lights, helping with catering. So we're in it together, and we're building something incredible, and this is just the beginning.
That's huge. And if you don't get this year, go there and network for next year. Network, pass out CDs, right? Get whatever. Get the people who are there already knowing about your band for next year.
Exactly. And that's what I did. And let me tell you, those early festivals in the mid '90s. I know the festival was around before that too. I know there's old schoolers that they remind me all the time, like, hey, there was Metal Mania, there was Metal Fest, but in the ones that I played, the ones that I went to, with Emperor, with Mayhem, with Deicide, and
Opeth,
SOD, and others, those were incredible. I
yes.
mean, talk about the stories and just talk about the lore in general, the porn stars, the wrestlers, everything. And we're creating new memories now. So it's you got to go there and create your own new memories. You got to go there and create your own legacy. And you're right. You got to network. You got to meet people who are like-minded. And it's all about the camaraderie. We had not one fight. We had one ejection because the guy was like really, really drunk and needed medical help. But it wasn't. But other than that,
yeah,
like,
I haven't seen no problems. It was awesome.
I tell people, I'm not sensationalizing it. It really is the best weekend ever. Come and see.
It is. I love it. I go there. I'm in Chicago. I go there on Thursday. I don't come back till Monday. It's a blast. It's a metal. All the vendors. You got so many great vendors, and you find cool records there. I mean, bring a bag because you're gonna find something you like there. From T-shirts to
and now it's go time. We're in the final push. So, like I said, wait till people see who else is coming. Like as far as vendors and as far as stuff that is going to be available there, like all the collaborations that we're doing with the bands and the merch, and it's going to be a great time.
Jack Kasha gave Rebel Radio a booth for our first few years on the radio, and that got our audience up big time, from Wisconsin to Illinois, and he always took care of us and gave us a booth, and I'd meet so many new people. I'm still best friends with people I met at Milwaukee Metal Fest back in 1996. Pretty crazy how so long ago you're still connected to the people.
Totally, and listen, we're opening up 8-foot tables up in the Eagles now for a bunch of the nights because we're oversold on vendors. So it's a good problem to have.
Yes,
so the more the merrier.
Definitely.
So by all means, come and set up a Rebel Radio table. I'll put you in contact with Al and Colin at the venue.
Oh, cool.
Who's running it. But yeah, it's we're growing it, and we got to just keep putting the positivity out there and keeping the bill like really eclectic like it is. I think it's been really cool and fun to see, the different strange ones like Mr. Bungle and now like Devin Townsend and Tesseract, like who I was talking about earlier, who did the Megadeth tour one year.
Yes.
It's fun for us because then we also have the black metal stuff like Rotting Christ and Wolves in the Throne Room and Dusk, who are local to Wisconsin, and then unsigned bands like 656 who are from out by me, and Skin Crawl who are out Hartford, Connecticut area, and then also amazing locals and regionals like Surefire who are from Wisconsin, and bands who are flying in from super far away, like Death Angel coming in from the Bay Area with Exodus, and Black Label Society, one of their only shows of the year.
Yeah.
Because Zach has been out with Zach Sabbath, and then he was out with
Pantera. Yep.
This is like a real treat for us to get one of the only Black Label Society headlining shows of the year, and Down being back. Down hasn't played
a long time.
So many years, and they're headlining. Chimera's coming over from Ohio, and of course, Suicide Silence is flying in from California. It's just going to be a blast.
All right, the pre-party, you got Jasta and friends. Now, is that set up ahead of time, the songs and stuff, or do you say, hey, let's do this? How does that work for the Jasta and friends? I want to know.
Oh yeah, Charlie and Nick Petrino, who played on the Jasta for All record, and Chris Bodette, they're just amazingly talented guys. Sometimes we use Joe Tobias from the band Limbs, but we've been using this kid Apollo. He was at the festival last year with us, and we practiced a bunch of times per month leading up to it. But this year, we're trying something different with Thrash Thursday because I've been doing these residencies every month, one Thursday a month. And so this year, it just happened to be that Flotsam and Jetsam was available, and we're like, perfect. Let's get Flotsam to fly out. We'll do Jasta as direct support. Scott Ian, Danny Lilker, Phil Demmel, and others will be joining me during the set to play some covers and to play some songs off of Jasta for All, which is going to be almost like a year to the date that I released it.
Awesome.
And yeah, we're just really excited. Then Scott's son's band, XCOM, is going to play, and then another great local regional band that I think everybody should check out called Sacrament. They're going to be opening the show, and it's free to get in on Thursday. So if you're coming up and you have a Friday or a Saturday ticket, if you have a 2 or 3 day ticket, your ticket is free for Thursday. And if you don't have a 2 day or 3 day ticket, we're only doing a $30 ticket. So
awesome.
It'll be well worth it just to see all the bands that are going to be playing on Friday and Saturday mingling about. It's always a great hang. People's minds were blown the last 2 years. You know, I'm seeing people freak out. Oh my God, there's Turk, there's Dino, there's Rob Flynn. You know, they're taking pictures, and yeah, it's just a really good, fun hang.
What a fun time. Now, okay, we got Thursday night covered. Friday night, down. Camara, how did you get Camara? Did they come back? I heard they were coming back, but did they come back for the fest? What's the deal with Camara?
They started with the Lamb of God cruise, and it went so well on the cruise, and they just crushed it, and people were thrilled, and I thought, all right, this is perfect, let's do it. It's kind of it's a little bit of shades of Ozfest, but like I said earlier, you know, being in this time frame in May, it's so hard to solidify the lineup when the multi-million-dollar corporate stadium shows scoop up hundreds of bands. Mm-hmm. And so it just seemed like the right thing to do. And I was so happy to get Mark on my podcast finally and see them gaining new fans. You know, there's so many fans that never got a chance to see them back in the day, and now they get a chance to at Milwaukee Metal Fest.
So down, Camara, and then SOD. How did this materialize? You got Scott Ian, Danny Lookner from SOD, and Scott's son playing drums, and you on vocals. Whose idea was this?
Yeah, it was my idea. I thought we do these SOD songs sometimes on my Jasta shows.
Cool. And
people go absolutely crazy, and I thought, why not try it? Try a tribute show. It's something cool. It's something different, and it's just a tribute to one of our favorite records of all time, Speak English or Die. We're going to do it extra offensive, no editing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're a part. Listen, Scott's always been a part of the original fest.
Yes.
And SOD was a part of the original fest, so it's just a tribute to those great classic songs that we love. And I've been trying to get Danny there every year. I tried with Nuclear Assault. I tried just to have him come and play with Jasta and do some Nuclear Assault songs or just some SOD songs. And for one reason or another, he wasn't available, and we couldn't make the schedules align. And now it finally did. So I said, let's do it. Let's have fun. And it's just a way for us friends to get together and pay tribute to a classic record.
And now, Scotty and Son, I see you on your videos. I don't know if it's Instagram or Facebook or something. You're jamming in the studio or somewhere, and you're playing the SOD song. It was you, Scott, and what's his son's name?
Revel. Yeah,
Revel. That's right. I knew that. I was double checking.
He's killing it. He's 13.
13 years old.
I just was out there in LA rehearsing, and it was so much fun, and I'm so excited. And it's great because now we're getting offered other shows, and we're getting offered tours and stuff. It's pretty wild. But yeah, it's really special to see a father and son connect musically.
That's cool.
And I'm just so happy for them. And it's really special to see Scott and Danny together because it's 40 years since Scott asked Danny to do the record and told him about this crazy idea he had called Stormtroopers of Death. So it's for the 40th anniversary, and it's just a little something fun to do since we'll all be there, and I love the record.
I can't wait to see that one. That's going to be awesome. Enslaved. I just played Enslaved before you called. Great band. Paradise Lost. Suicide Silence. And Pentagram is blown up on the internet. Tell our listeners about the Pentagram blow up. Do you know about that? Of course you do.
Yeah, and I gotta shout out Phil and Kate and Housecore. You know, they did a big Scour release party down in Louisiana, and I saw that on their Instagram, and they had Exhorder and Pentagram on their show opening for Scour for the record release, and I thought, oh man, we already have Down there, we have I Hate God on the Saturday, we have Exhorder on the Sunday, we gotta get Pentagram, and so I gave them a shout, and they were like, hell yeah, we want to do it. And yeah, now it's great to see they're having success on this new record, and they're blowing up on the internet. Bobby's such a trip.
Yeah, Bobby's crazy.
Yeah. It's gonna be wild.
One time I played in a band called Earth and Grave. And we had a violin player named Rachel Barton Pine. And Bobby, we opened for Pentagram. What does he do? He come up and jam with us and does the song Relentless with us. That was awesome. What a great guy.
That rules. Yeah, he's the best.
Definitely cool. All right, that's Friday. Friday, a lot more bands. Saturday night, Black Label Society. I saw Black Label Society at the Eagles Club right before COVID shut down everything. It was like March 14th of 2020. And you could tell things were changing right there. I mean, you walk into place and they had like a lot of hand freshener, hand sanitizers. The Rave did their job. You know, they did their job because there's a lot. You could wash your hands right in front of the band almost. So, but then then 2 days later, the whole world shut down. So, Black Label Society only show in 2025. That is awesome. And we're going to be very excited to see Zach Wild. He might be calling in next week. I'm working on an interview with Zach right now. He called in last July for Pantera. He might be calling in for this show next week. I'm working on a lot of bands, a lot of interviews for Milwaukee Metal Fest as well. So that's very cool too.
That would be great.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Always.
I hope he does. Yeah, we love Father Zach, and can't thank him enough for all his support and always being there for us and just being a great friend. And yeah, it's going to be a special one. Also with Devin too, because Devin doesn't do a lot.
No.
And Devin and we really bonded way back on Ozfest when he was still a strapping young lad. And so this is a special show for Devin. And for me too, because Power Nerd, I sang on the Power Nerd song.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he's just he's one of the good ones, and all the other bands that day are bangers too. I mean, that day is real. I tell everybody, like, if you don't have a Saturday ticket, like if you're just going Friday and you're thinking about getting a Saturday ticket, come early and see Demolition Hammer. I got them in Europe. They absolutely crushed it. And come see Macabre.
Love Macabre. Good friends of mine.
There's no Milwaukee Metal Fest without Macabre.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to absolutely crush. And then we also have bands like Necrogoblicon and Of Sulfur and Revocation. I mean, it's stacked top to bottom. And maybe you want to see Renaissance. David is he's quite the internet personality with his YouTube, and they're going to be ripping it up. And the bar stage is legendary. Like, if you've been in the bar stage for Ripper set or Unearthed set, or any of the bands like Havoc or Warbringer in 2023.
Ripper was awesome.
It was just like Warbringer, obviously they shot a video there, and there's a lot of local love for them there. It's kind of a second home for them. But yeah, we're going to create more memories like that.
Exodus, Death Angel. Now, 3 Inches of Blood from Canada, they broke up, and now they're back, and you got them from Milwaukee Metal Fest. That's another great band, too, to add to the fest as well, right?
Yeah, the Canadian connection is strong on Saturday with Devin Townsend and 3 Inches of Blood. So we're just super pumped. That reminds me, I gotta give them a shout on Instagram, because they were another one that we played on Ozfest together, and we got along so famously, and we loved those guys. And then we took them on the Jägermeister tour with Hatebreed and Typo Negative, and that was like probably the most fun we've ever had on a tour. So it's going to be great to link up with 3 Inches of Blood again.
All right, now we're going to Sunday. Now, Sunday, I'm good friends with Trouble and Kyle Thomas from Ex-Hoarder. This will be the first time ever, Kyle Thomas will be singing with Ex-Hoarder on the same day he's singing with Trouble. And it's the same stage, too, right?
Yeah. Kyle's pulling double duty.
Double duty.
Really looking forward to it. And both bands, absolutely legendary. And a big part of that whole world and that whole scene. And then also to have Arch Enemy and Guar.
You got to have Guar end the show. You can't play after Guar.
And listen, for everybody who's maybe never heard of Amigo the Devil, his music might not be metal, but the lyrics are, and he's a metal dude. And so that is going to be another set to be remembered. Acoustic, Amigo the Devil, to do something different this time around on Sunday.
That's cool. Something different, yeah.
And listen, last year, the Sunday was our biggest day. And it was even bigger than the previous year with Lamb of God and Machine Head. So last year with Avatar, Slaughter to Prevail, Lacuna Coil, In Flames, That's All, it was our biggest day since we've returned, and we want to get a repeat of that this year with Guar, Arch Enemy, Dillinger, Trouble, Exhorter, Speed, absolutely incredible hardcore band. They just played Coachella, and of course, the just unbelievably stacked other parts of the bill. Like
Harm's Way, great band from another Chicago band. Speed,
on and on.
Speed, what a great lineup, man. Great job on putting this together. Now, a festival like this, I mean, it starts, you don't start, you start now for 2026. How do you do Hatebreed? All these are, your guests singing on with Lamb of God, your guests singing here and there. How do you do all this while you're also putting together Milwaukee Metal Fest, which is basically a full-time job for, now you're looking at 2026 after this one. How do you do all this, Jamey?
Well, we do it as a team. It's not about me. It's really about the Rave team. It's about Sound Talent and their amazing team. My partner, Tim, everybody at Sound Talent, Jackie, Leah, Jeremy, of course, Joe and Leslie at the Rave and their whole team, Amanda, and our team, Joe and Brian and Alicia, Belle. We have a great team. Everybody, Colin at the venue, Nat at the venue, and we're blessed. I really can't thank these folks enough for believing in this crazy idea. And like I said, I'm in it for the long haul. I'm blood in, blood out. 2026, let's get it on sale. And yeah.
All right.
I'm not gonna. Of course, I'm gonna go on tour with Hatebreed. I'm gonna get a new Hatebreed album out too. But yeah, this is something that's just gonna be a great weekend once a year for hopefully years to come. And again, we're creating new memories, new legacies. Hopefully, helping create some headliners of tomorrow and giving bands an opportunity that I was lucky enough to get when I was a kid.
Definitely. Did we mention Sacred Reich on Sunday? Isn't our great band too from Arizona? Sacred Reich, Scour, Arch Enemy, Dillinger Escape Plan. What a solid packed lineup every night, even Thursday. I'm going to get there early Thursday. See Jasta and Friends, Flotsam and Jetsam. Man, what a great setup. Great job. Your third year now. Jamey, last year, we're going back to last year. What was your favorite moment from last year? I mean, you got a lot of them, of course. It's hard to find you, and you're busy working so much. This year, you said you're not working as much. You're still working no matter what you're doing there. But what was your favorite moment from last year?
I would say In Flames in the Rave, definitely. Belushi Speedball in the bar. Doro absolutely crushed it. Hammerfall crushed it. There was just so many.
It's hard.
Testament was like, Testament really felt like the people's headliner.
Yes, that's great.
And Overkill on Friday too. And of course, no disrespect to Symphony X or Camelot or Blind Guardian, who were all amazing in their own right and just incredibly talented and really brought something different. With the power metal thing and the modern, European metal
that's
thing.
Cool.
But, man, I got to say, Overkill, Testament, absolutely crushed. And then also on Sunday, I was very impressed with Slaughter to Prevail and Avatar. But then also the classic bands like Lacuna Coil and Death to All and In Flames absolutely ruled. And I loved Terrorizer and getting to see Pete and David Vincent do the Morbid Angel songs with Ian Morbid was incredible too. But there was a lot, man. It was really, there was a lot of high points and a lot of fun was had. And yeah, I think we're going to top it this year. Fingers crossed.
And of course, Hatebreed last year. That was awesome, right?
Yeah, I wish that I could have enjoyed it more. Municipal Waste absolutely blew the roof off the place. And then, I was working backstage and I was getting a lot of stuff ready. But yeah, I had a blast playing it. I just wish I could have enjoyed it a little bit more. That's why this year it's less pressure doing the SOD set because it's just going to be a fun cover set.
Awesome. And then the first year, what was your favorite highlight from the first year that you owned Milwaukee Metal Fest?
Definitely Biohazard, seeing them back together with the original lineup. It kind of brought a tear to my eye, because I love Bobby Campbell so much, and I had said to Bobby for years when I would see him, you belong on stage, you belong back with these guys. And so when he originally got back with the guys, but Evan was no longer in the band, it was kind of bittersweet. I was happy for him, but it was also kind of like, man, it would have been so cool to see him with the OG lineup.
Yes.
Not that I didn't love the lineup with Scott Roberts, because I thought Scott did an incredible job. And I actually said that Biohazard should have done multiple records with Scott. I really felt like they were onto something. If you go watch that Live at Bakken set on YouTube with Scott singing, they sound incredible, and they're one of the greats. But yeah, to get them their first show back and to have Dark Angel there, because Gene Hoglan is such a massive part of the original fest and just a massive part of metal in general, and a legend and an icon and just a great person in general. So those two on Friday really set the tone. And then, of course, Lamb of God, Machine Head closing it out, and then in between was amazing with Anthrax and Suicidal. I really felt like Anthrax headlining, it's just It's such a beautiful thing. So many smiling faces, so many hits.
Yes.
Just hit after hit. That was special. But also Suicidal and Terror. Terror, being probably one of the only hardcore bands on the bill that day, absolutely crushed. Yeah, it was, man, now I'm getting like a little nostalgic already. I know it was only 2 years ago, but really it was a lot of fun.
What a blast. Man, I pull times, great time, no problems anywhere, no fights, nothing. What a great job by the Rave and Eagles Club and your staff too, keeping everything together. I didn't see one problem. I mean, I'm there all day long, so I can't wait. May 15th, the pre-party. 16th, 17th, 18th, Milwaukee Metal Fest 2025. Jamey, thank you so much for calling in. I know you're busy as hell. You always take time to call Rebel Radio. The first time you came to Rebel Radio, Ron Platzer brought you in 1994 when Hatebreed signed with Victory Records. You put the first release out and you came live in the studio, and you've always been cool ever since. So thank you so much for all you do for metal, hardcore, everything. You do it all. That's a great job, Jamey.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, brother. I appreciate all your support. You're a lifer. That means a lot to all of us guys who have been slugging it out. And shout out to Ron Platzer. Ronnie, my man. Another lifer, a dude that I love and appreciate. And yeah, and I hope to see all you guys there at Milwaukee Metal Fest May 15th through the 18th next month.
All right, everyone should know this already, but how do they get tickets, Jamey?
TheRave.com/MetalFest. And if you want meet and greets, go to martyrstore.net. You'll see the links on all of my socials. Or just go to metalfest.com and you'll see all the links there.
Awesome. You're going to be the DJ. We're going to do a whole block of Metal Fest bands now. We're going to start off with Down. What a great job bringing Down and Scour to the Milwaukee Metal Fest. I'm excited. So Down, I don't remember when's the last time they played here in Chicago or the Midwest. It's been a long time. So
a long time coming.
Long time overdue. Great job bringing them back. Anything you want to say to our fans here in Chicago, Wisconsin, around the world before I let you get to your next interview?
Just thank you so much. I cannot express my gratitude as much as I want to right now, just because I'm leaving rehearsal and I'm completely spent. I've been just working night and day to get this thing off the ground, and it's finally almost here. So if you've yet to get a ticket yet, we're so close to our goal. Make sure you check out metalfest.com. And before I go, I want to say, Scott, I got to get you in the Milwaukee Metal Fest documentary. And
awesome.
Tell some old stories.
Oh, I got stories.
The old festival. We're going to be launching a Kickstarter very soon, probably right before the festival. We're going to be launching a Kickstarter so that we can promote it at the festival. So we want to hear everyone's stories. We want to see their photos. We want to see their old videos. And we really want to tell the story of, the festival that started it all, before Ozfest, before Warped Tour, before a lot of the big European festivals. This was it, and this was the beginning. So we want to document that, and we've already got a bunch of great interviews with some of the artists and with Jack, the original owner, and I would love to get you in there, brother.
Definitely. I got a lot of good stories. One real quick, Cradle Filth, Danny Filth's birthday party. They got a coffin cake for him, and inside it was like fake blood. It was so cool. It was like in a certain room. It was in a special room, like 25 people in there. They invited me in there, probably like 96, 97, 98, I can't remember. And we went in there and they had a cake. I'm like, oh, what a cool cake. It's a coffin. And then they cut it open and there's like fake blood all over the place. So it definitely fit with Cradle of Filth, right?
Hell yeah. Yeah, there would be another one. Who knows? Fingers crossed for 2026.
Awesome. Jamey, looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks. Thank you so much. You're the DJ. You got your own podcast. You got a million things going on. You're the DJ. We're going to play a block of songs from Exodus, Death Angel, Scour. But right now we're going to start off with Down. I want you to introduce the song like you're a DJ on Rebel Radio. I'm sorry to put you on the spot here, but I know you handled it. We're going to play the song Lifer. We're going to kick off a block of Metal Fest. We're going to do a whole hour of Metal Fest bands starting right now. And Jamey, you're going to start it off. You're the DJ. I want you to introduce the song Lifer by Down like you're a DJ on Rebel Radio. Take it away, buddy.
What's going on, motherfucker? You got your boys in Down. They're going to be throwing down May 16th at the Rave/Eagles Club in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Smoke them if you got them. Here's Down with Lifer.
Great job. You start Monday morning, our new morning show. Awesome, Jamey. Thank you so much for calling in. We'll see you May 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th at the Rave Eagles Club in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. See you later, buddy.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's Rebel Radio. We're still on Facebook Live here. I'm Scott Davidson. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Jamey Jasta for calling in. I'm doing a block of Milwaukee Metal Fest bands right now, at least an hour. Hell, we could do about the whole show. We could do the next 5 hours if we wanted to. Here we go. We start with Down, Lifer, switch over to rebelradio.com, AM 1500, WPJX, FM 92.5. Thank you for watching this video on Facebook Live. Have a great day, and I hope to see you at Milwaukee Metal Fest 2025. Later.